Oh my
Boy, Sharona. Is it Sharona or is it Sharona? Yeah. General Shinobi. You are a boy. Shinobi. And you ruined it. Holy Shinobi. He sounds like an old man without the voice changer on. No, I'm talking about
General Grievous.
General Grievous. Whenever he doesn't have the voice changer on, like if you listen to it on like the original clip without the whole like added filter.
Hey, y'all need to have a seat and get your books out, your papers out. And we're not making noises now. Okay, and we're in. I'm going to give y'all some time to work on the review, but then we're going to stop at one point and we're going to do some stuff on the board. So you need to do as much as you can on the review because whatever we don't finish, you'll have to do for homework. The quiz is tomorrow. Okay, I often forget the morning announcement, the after lunch devotion, and it comes from Ecclesiastes 9:4, which is an interesting verse. It says, "A living dog is better than a dead lion." Life is a precious thing, and in its humblest form, it is superior to death. The truth is eminently certain in spiritual things. It is better to be the least in the kingdom of heaven than the greatest out of it. The lowest degree of grace is superior to the noblest development of unregenerate nature. Where the Holy Ghost imparts divine life in the soul, there is a precious deposit which none of the refinements of education can equal. The thief on the cross excels Caesar on his throne. Lazarus among the dogs is better than Cicero among the senators. And the most unlettered Christian is in the sight of God superior to Plato. Life is the badge of nobility. Hang on. Oh, not tucked in, okay. Life is the badge of nobility in the realm of spiritual things, and men without it are only coarser or finer specimens of the same lifeless material, needing to be quickened, for they are dead in trespasses and sins. A living, loving gospel sermon, however unlearned in matter and uncouth in style, is better than the finest discourse devoid of unction and power. A living dog keeps better watch than a dead lion and is of more service to his master. And so the poorest spiritual preacher is infinitely to be preferred to the exquisite orator who has no wisdom but that of words, no energy but that of sound. The like holds good of our prayers and other religious exercises. If we are quickened in them by the Holy Spirit, they are acceptable to God through Jesus Christ, though we may think them to be worthless things. While our grand performances in which our hearts were absent, like dead lions, are mere carrion in the sight of the living God. Oh, for living groans, living sighs, living despondencies, rather than lifeless songs and dead calms. Better anything than death. The snarlings of the dog of hell will at least keep us awake, but dead faith and dead profession, what greater curses can a man have? Quicken us, O Lord. He has some heavy duty stuff there, doesn't he? And I don't have her yet. We are in pre-cal. Okay, so I didn't get all of the answers put on the board. We got through number 10, I think. No, I did some more too. 13 at least. No, it was 8. Oh, yeah. Okay, so I'll put 20 through 30 on the board. Yes.
I have to ask real quick, it's been reading for like 20 minutes now. Left here.
And what are you gonna do at the office?
I have no idea. I'm gonna ask you if they have anything for reading.
Okay. Oh, there she is.
No, you're not.
Okay. So we said 20-ish. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to push this button. Did it work? That button. There we go. Okay. More answers. 20. 2 of x equals x minus 4 squared minus 4. 21 equals x minus 18 cubed. Cubed, not squared. 28. Two, 4, 6, 8, 10.
I think this one was lost.
What?
This one was
This one was lost.
It's constantly moving.
It's supposed to. So now it's working. Let me know if it does that again. I'll say, pay attention. Get it, come back over here. Oh, we're supposed to graph this. That was fast.
Mrs. Day gave me an ibuprofen.
Okay, that'll stop the bleeding. I don't know, it's something like that, but it kind of looks curved. And then 30. Oh, this is, I don't know why they use these scales. Okay. are all really little numbers.
Can you also write the number for 19 up there, because I don't think we got it written down. That's right, 19.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I don't think I did that one. So 19 was horizontal shift. Um, 7 units to the right. Mhm.
Second one. Can you check that? 'Cause I saw-
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna leave. Showing. Hard to tell what it. Okay. Yeah, I can go this way. Yep, there. No. Okay. I'll put 24 over here. And you're supposed to know that with a spring, because remember we did that early, we did that little activity with the springs on the boards, remember that? You're supposed to know that that's a direct variation or a, what's another word, directly proportional. Because they don't really tell you that on 24. Okay, so F equals 245 newtons and S equals 0.25 meters. And so you're supposed to know that the S is a function of the force. The distance is a function of the force. And so 0.25 equals K 245. So K equals 0.25 over 245. I use my calculator. Whenever I buy shoes, I actually put them on and walk around and say, oh, good, these don't make noises. And then when I get to the school, they make noises. And it'll be a linoleum floor just like this at the shoe store. I don't know. Oh, man, that's 0.001. Is that what they said? That's. Oh, no, I've just got K. Okay, yeah, and it says 0.06. Is that?
That one was good. I just wanted the second one.
You got 0.06? I got 0.001.
I also got 0.01.
Did I do it? I flip it? Let me look in the book on the.
0.01 times 60. The next answer is 0.06. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, sorry.
Oh. Okay, so this is 0.001. And then so S equals 0.001. F, how far will 60 newtons? S equals 0.06. Yeah. I'm just making sure. Yep. What force is required? So, and then now I'll go ahead and put the S in. 0.2 meters. 0.2 equals 0.001 F. So 200. Yeah, I don't know where 196 came from. Oh, they might have used more decimals. Did you get 200?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm wondering what I did it round when I did my 60 times. Oh, I did. Okay, I'm gonna try again and see. I'm gonna divide by the 0.01020482. And it's 196. Yeah, but this is fine. If you have 200, they just use a lot more decimal places. So Candace, we looked and saw that this right here is that you can get an answer of 200, and that's okay. Get that. You're done? And you checked all your answers? Good, okay. Let me go see where everybody else is. Which one are you on?
I'm on 17.
You're halfway down. Okay, you got a question?
How do you?
Okay, so the parent function is related to g. Okay, so like the parent function for this is just x squared, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so it looks like what they did is they flipped it over. When they put a negative in front of the x, that flips it over the y-axis. Is that what they say? Oh, let's see. And then you're adding 11, so that made it go up 11. 17. Reflection in the x-axis and shift 11 up. Does that make sense?
Oh, yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Thank you.
Mhm.
I see what you mean. Right. So what is that?
On 27, f is joint, leave proportional to r and the third power of s. So that's correct.
Okay.
Yeah. And then you have to put the numbers in and 27, yeah, because, yeah, there you go. And so you're about on 28, 27, okay,
So I have a question about 17.
okay.
When it asks if it's a vertical shift, wouldn't it be after? Okay.
And you could say negative x plus 11.
Mhm.
So
So what is
it would be vertical. What does it say? Yeah, vertical shift 11 units up.
it? Usually vertical shifts are after that.
Oh, yeah, but you can put them anywhere. It's like whenever,
That's so annoying.
like if you wanted to do a horizontal shift, you'd have to put
Put it
in parentheses with the x. But
The
the,
vertical shift, you can put it anywhere.
anyway, yeah, if it's just added, yeah. You're on,
Wait for the answer. I'm on 23.
you're not using a pen, are you?
I'm using a pen because I lost all my pencils.
Well, you won't be accepted
Oh,
as a pen. Is that all the
yep.
previously?
Mhm.
Oh, you have to redo it. Any of that you want credit for, you have to redo in pencil. So, just so you know, you're pretty close. And you're getting there. You want to get something else to work on for a while? Yeah, that'll be fine. I'm gonna let them go another 15 or 20 minutes, maybe. There have been various pencils left in the room. So I may have, that's been left. The pen. No, this one. $26. Good grief. You may finish your cereal, Candace.
Oh, Candace.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow. Review sheet. I finished my lunch with quick burst. Yes. All right. Done eating. Good. Hello again. Okay. 12 through 16.
Why not?
You got cereal for
Yeah. I had breakfast for dinner.
Okay. Back to work. Let's stay quiet. Okay. So on 12, Candace, 12 and 13, you don't have a parent function on those. You just have some dots that are given already. And it says to sketch y equals f of negative x. And so you take each of the points that are given and you change the sign of the x coordinate. Like that dot that says 5, 3, you would change it to negative 5, 3. And so then you would plot negative 5, 3. So each of the points, change the x coordinate to the opposite sign and plot the new point. And you do that with 13, what you do is it says x plus 1, that y is f of x plus 1, but since x is backwards, you're going to subtract 1 from each of the x coordinates. So like the negative 5, 2, negative 5 minus 1 is negative 6. And so you would plot negative 6, 2. No, on number 13. Remember when we had horizontal shifts, if it was a plus sign, you would go left, and if it was a negative sign, you go right. And they show that, let's see. Seven. Yeah, on page 67, in the box, the bottom two things in the box on page 67. And so if it says f of x plus 1, then you're going to shift it to the left, like number 4 in the box. So that was 12. 11. Okay, are you ready to talk about number 11? So you put those different numbers in for C, and like it says on page 67, whenever you have something added to the function, like the number 1 or number 2 in the box, then it's going to move it up. And so when you have negative x plus 5, then you're going to take the absolute, not negative x, the absolute value of x. If you have the absolute value of x plus c, and say c was 5, like the middle one, then you're going to take the absolute value function and move it up 5 places. And since it starts at the origin, you know, the tip of the v is at the origin, you're going to move it up to 5 on the y-axis. And since negative 3 is negative, when you add negative 3, it's the same thing as subtracting. So it goes down 3. Let's see. The basic idea with the translations is that you have a parent function, which are all in the front column, I mean, the front of the textbook. There's parent functions, and then you can add numbers or change the parent function, and that causes it to shift up or down or get wider or whatever. And the shifts, let me find another place where it shows that. 10, 7. Okay, look on page 105. I'm going to look at the rest of your chats real quick. How to find different. Okay. So on page 105, in the section for 1.7, it has vertical shifts, horizontal shifts, reflection in the x-axis, reflection in the y-axis, and non-rigid transformations. And so I'm going to give you some examples of those on, I think what I'm going to do is turn on the, join it with my computer and then show you on the whiteboard online on my computer screen. So in just a minute, I'll share my screen with you. Okay. Let's over here. Thank you. Y'all have any questions before I help Candace for a minute or two? Okay. When I get done there, I'm gonna send y'all to the board to do some work to be sure you're ready for tomorrow. Now hold on to it because you may want to study it for the quiz tomorrow. Okay, let's see. I'm going to go to Zoom.
I mean, yeah, but it's like normally yes, but also no.
Okay, I am going to go to settings. No.
Okay, I've had enough of the chat. The chat is not. Can you hear me?
Oh, I'll repeat what I said about 11 in a minute, Candace. Let's see, I want to go to meeting settings. Allow participants to share screen. Okay. Recording, speaker view. Oh, there it is. That's why, yeah. Oh. Okay, Candace, can you see the screen I'm sharing, the whiteboard on your screen? Okay, good. On 11, let me see. Okay, so let me do this. Okay, this is enough 11. The parent function is, let me undo that and do, is y equals the absolute value of x, which looks like that. Let's see. And, okay, with little. And so if I take, let me go to another color. Okay, y'all need to stay quiet so that Candace can hear. And so you can work. Okay. So if I have f of x, that's just, if I, that's, like I could write this as f of x is absolute value of x, either way. And if I have absolute value of x plus 5, then that's like taking, hang on, let me see if I do this. Actually, let's call this g of x, okay? Then g of x is absolute value of x. Well, I said that the absolute value of x was f of x. So I could put an f of x here and then plus 5, because that's the same thing. And so on 17, I mean, sorry, on 11, you have to graph the second function, which is the original function plus 5. And the original function was the square root of, the absolute value of x. Okay, and so whenever you take a function, f of x, and you add a number to it, that means you're shifting it 5 up. So I would go over here and count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that would be my new function. So this one is y equals absolute value of x plus 5. And let me go to my red. This one is y equals absolute value of x plus 0, just the absolute value of x. Okay. And then if I used -3, let's call that a different color, blue. So I have h of x.
Ma'am?
Is going to be f of x plus -3. Well, that's going to be the same thing as absolute value of x minus 3. Okay, so this means I'm going to go 5, I'm going to go 3 down. So I'll go over here and do 1, 2, 3. So every point on the red graph is shifted down 3 points, or 3 numbers. And so it looks, the whole thing is shifted down 3. And the only one I didn't do on that one was 2. Let me do 2. We'll go with yellow. I can, there. So we'll do j of x equals f of x plus 2. So that's absolute value of x plus 2. So I'm going to go up 2. So here's the original. So I'll go up to 2 and I'll do that one. So that's what you're, not including the red line, the green, yellow, and blue, that would be what your answer should be. Let me see if there's another one similar on the. Yeah, look at 15 on your, I'm going to change colors. Let's go to black. So 15 shows you a graph that if you go over to where 5 is and where 1 is, let's see if I can dot that real soft. Okay, so it looks like it's at 5, -1. And it goes down this way. Okay, so we're gonna have to think, we can tell by the V shape that the parent function is the absolute value of X, just like up here, that's the parent function, even for number 15. Okay, but it's been flipped over and moved. You can tell that the red V has been flipped over and moved. And so if you look on page 105, where it talks about the different shifts, reflecting something on the x-axis is flipping it over. And so, let's see. I think what it might, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to, yeah. This is, so here, well, let's not call it F. We'll call it K of X, just because we haven't used that letter yet. You started with absolute value of X, but you flipped it over. So we put a negative in front of the whole thing. By putting that negative there, it means we flipped it over the x-axis. Ah, a little pop up there, okay. Flipped. Okay, so that took us from the origin up here to being flipped over, but the vertex is still at the origin. So what I need to do is I need to move it down 1. So I need to put a -1 here. That moves it down 1. And let me erase for a second. And then go back, drawing. And here's my other absolute value sign. But it also got moved to the right 5. And so I'm going to put -5 right here. Because whenever you're moving something horizontally, the X value has to be shifted, negative or positive. So that means that -5 moves the whole function 5 to the right. I'm going to erase some more of this. Okay. Erase is so clean. Okay, so then let's go back to that. So here we went. Y equals -X to Y equals -X minus 5 to Y equals -X minus 5 minus 1. And so flip it, then you go to the right 5, and then you right 5, and then you go down 1. So you can look at it as a series of steps, and by the time you get done, you've got this whole function left in here, because you flipped it with the negative sign. You put a -5 in with the x, that made it go right 5, and then you stuck a -1 on the outside, that made it go down 1. So let me see if you've got questions. I'm gonna stop sharing, I think. No, wait, oh, there, I can do the chat up here. Lots of why this. The x become, right, okay, so let me go back then. So click that off. I'm gonna clear. And go back to, I wonder what happened to Mr. Smith. At least I can keep an eye on you guys. Okay, so, okay. Say if f of x was a function that when you had this x, you'd have this y. It's not an equation in this case. This is number 12. Kind of being more elaborate. So you've got a 0 for x with a -1. And then you've also got a 1 with a 0. And then you've got a 4 with a 2. And you got a 5 with a 3. And so if you plot those, you got that one, you got that one, and you got one over here, and one up here. Does that make sense so far? And so that's what you have on number 12. You have this graph, and which is 4 points, and they call it a function. Okay, I don't know why they connected the dots actually, that's kind of weird. Okay, so if I wanted to have another function that was y equals f of -x, then that would have the points. Oops, I did that wrong. Undo x, y. All my x's would have their signs changed. Getting a little noisy over there. Okay, but I would keep all my y's the same. Do you see the difference? All the x's got their signs changed. And so I'm going to plot those, and I'm going to use red to plot those. So this one, like when you have -0, that's the same thing as +0. With 0, you really can't, you don't have a sign. So it's going to go right there on top of the black one. But -1, 0 would be right here. And the -4, 2 would be out here. James, no. Yeah. Yeah. And then 5, 3. Come on, guys. -5, 3 is going to be right there. And so what you've noticed is that by changing the sign on the x, it flipped it over. It reflected it on the y-axis. And so that's what that means, reflected over the y-axis. And so if I had, say I had f of x equals 2x, okay, that would look like this. It'd be going through like that, okay? And so if I said g of x was, and I just made the x negative, that when I multiplied by the 2, that would make the whole function -2x. Okay, that's the same thing I'm doing here. I'm putting a negative in front of the x, but that makes everything negative. And that would look like this, which just means it's just been flipped over the the y-axis. It's been flipped over. Okay, I'm gonna have to answer the rest of your questions, an email or something, so I can get back to the class. Is that all right? Okay. And I'm gonna leave there. There we go. One more in here.
You just bump it.
No drumming. See, no constant yammering on desk, no hammering. That's part of the rules right up there. Yeah, and you're still.
No one can hear it.
I can hear it.
Shall not consume.
That's right.
Uh-oh.
The soul of the
Okay.
That's something my counselor
You can tap your leg or something. We can't hear that. You can hear that. Okay, everybody up to the board. Maybe somebody can erase that over there. Yeah, we'll leave her blocked. Okay, let's see. These are problems from page 108, which has problems covering section 1.7 to 1.10, which is what our quiz will be over. Okay. So write this down. H of x is equal to x squared minus 9. Okay, first, letter A, identify the parent function. No.
Oh.
Put an A. And the parent function is one of the ones we saw at the beginning of the textbook.
Parent function.
Okay.
Oh, that kind of thing. I think you meant
Just like
Yeah, like that.
so,
Yes. And I'm going to see if she can see. Yes. Okay, you're going to go sit down unless you're going to be writing legibly.
Oh, I can read it.
Legible, by definition, means I can read it. Yes. Okay, and B, describe the sequence of transformations from that parent function. What does subtracting 9 do to it? It does not make it go right, James. Vertical shift.
Oh, this is the vertical shift.
The vertical shift. And since it's minus, the vertical means that if it's negative, it's going down. If it's positive, it goes up. Okay, so all that is a parabola that's been moved down, right? Okay, let's see if there's a C. Yes, C is sketch the graph of H of X. Sketch the graph. Good. Excellent. Well, the guys are faster than the ladies. Come on, ladies. You don't have to put all much detail in it. All you need is one little mark like Kylie did. Yeah. Okay, good. Erase. Okay, let me see. Which one do I want to do next? Okay, right. H of x equals, legibly, negative parentheses x plus 2 parentheses squared plus 3. Okay, so A is to identify the parent function. What's the parent function? Same thing as before. B, describe the sequence of transformations. What has happened to your parent function to get it to be that function? Okay, so because of the negative sign in front, you said it was flipped over the x-axis. The plus 2 means it's been shifted to the left 2, and the plus 3 outside of the parentheses means it goes up 3. Okay, I'm going to, yeah, hang on a second. This might give her something better to look at. There we go. And then graph it. Left 2, up 3. So it should be in that second quadrant.
Second quadrant. Oh no.
Because it went left 2. See, you said left.
Oh, I did right. Oh, I
Mhm.
see.
Okay, good job.
Yeah.
Okay, for the next one, I'm going to give you a preliminary question. My preliminary question is, I'm going to draw something over here on the girls' board. Y'all watch. Does anybody know what this is a graph of? Y equals square root of x. Good. Just so you know. Write that down up there. That way Candace can see it. Okay. So h of x equals negative square root of x plus 1, and then outside the square root put plus 9. So what is the parent function? Obviously, square root of x. So B, you're doing the transformations. Negative sign means you flip it over what? Over the x-axis. And it goes left 1 and up 9. So since it's out in front of the whole function, it's flipped over the x-axis. Sometimes it's good to kind of draw it. They flipped it over, and then it went left and up 9. Yeah. Let's see if that's what they have in the back of the book. This one is number 82. Okay, so did y'all look like that before y'all erased it? Because I was gonna check. Yes. Okay. Yeah, Miley's, I don't know, it depends on the scale, but it looks like yours is swoops down a little bit much, but that's okay. Good, got the idea. Okay, let's try something else. Write this down. F of x equals x squared plus 3. And then g of x equals 2x minus 1. Oh no, that was supposed to be gone.
What? I think.
At
I thought we were out at 2.
20. We are out at 2:20. Okay, so y'all can tell Kate how awkward that was. Okay, here we go back to work. Where was I? Okay, so you have f of x is x squared plus 3, and g of x is 2x minus 1. Okay, so A, I want you to do f plus g of x. F plus g of x. X squared plus 2x plus 2. Good job, guys. Okay, B, do f minus g of x. Be careful, there's a common mistake. X squared, okay, sorry, you're James.
Oh, no, this was way.
No, it's still wrong.
What? Huh? Who?
Not minus 4, plus 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's this, and then this, and then put this parentheses.
You have 3 plus a negative 1.
Yeah.
Okay. Also, the next one is f of g of x. For C, do f of g of x. Not f of g, I'm sorry, I take that back, take that back, take that back. Do f times g of x. F times g of x. And I bet they want you to expand it. $85. So yeah, you got a FOIL. Good job. Hey, they're composing functions. What? What kind of tape? A magnetic tape, scotch tape, duct tape. Huh? Duct tape. Okay, now do F divided by G. Well, I turned the AC up. It'll get there. I'm actually getting low on duct tape. It was it. Yeah. Here, I have this one too. Sure. You can. I don't care. Take them both. You sure?
Yep.
You positive? Okay. You're welcome. Anytime. Are y'all doing rockets?
Yeah, we're doing bottle rocket prototypes.
Ah. Are they outside? Ah, okay. Yeah. They're not going over there. He doesn't want to take that many freshmen over there. Okay. Let's see what y'all did. Yeah, and they don't want you to actually do the division. You just set it up with the division, and then you'd want to say that x is not allowed to be what? What should x not be allowed to be?
0.
Nope. The denominator can't be 0. What would cause the denominator to be 0 if x was
1/2.
1/2? Because then you'd have, yeah, good. Okay. Erase. You may erase. Okay, now this will be a good one. Everything, no, erase it all. Okay, we got a new f of x. F of x is now.
Oh, no, we got a new one?
Yes.
Yeah, we got one.
F of x is 1/3 x minus 3. And g of x is 3x plus 1. And I want you to find f of g of x and g of f of x. And this one is number 87. You got to simplify. And they're not inverses. So you're not just going to get x. That might have been, y'all, you're getting stumped by fractions. That is not correct, either one of them.
Oh, that's true.
Okay. G goes into F, so you put 3x plus 1 right here. Yeah. And so then that becomes x, and then a third, and then now you're doing, okay, you need to simplify this. What is 1/3 minus 3?
That's. Did I do it right?
Should be 8 over 3.
Negative 2 over 3. Yes. Good job. And then x minus 8 for the other one. Yeah, the first one should come out to be x minus 8/3. This is very sad if you can't do that. You could call it, you could look at it as 1/3 minus 9/3.
Oh, okay. That makes so much more sense. I was being at it like 1/3 minus 3.
Yeah, you got to get common denominator. Okay, let's try another one.
Same numbers?
No, different f and g this time. F of x is x cubed minus 4. And g of x is the cubed root of x plus 7. All of that's in the cubed root. Okay, find f circle g and g circle f, which is another way of saying f of g of x and g of f of x. This one is 86. No, it's not. It is 88. That's good, Brian. And looks like not James. Eddie got the first one right. X plus 3, good. Yeah. Next one's a little trickier. You don't know how to compose them? This is not going to bode well for you for tomorrow. So here you put g in all of this in here, and that cube cancels the cubed root.
That's, I think you said that was a square.
No,
Oh,
it's
good.
cubed.
There we go.
Yeah.
Okay, so now I know how to do that.
Oh, you didn't know how to do this. Okay, that makes sense. Let me check that answer. That does not look like what I saw on the back. Cubed root of x cubed plus 3. Anybody get that?
What's that?
Cubed root. Okay, so something happened. So you put all of this. So you have the cubed root of that, and then you have the.
Oh, you know,
You forgot your minus 4.
I'm missing the. So this.
But it all stays that you can't take anything out of the cubed root. Okay. And so you'll have x cubed, and then that's going to be plus 3
So that's going to be the answer.
cubed root. Does that say that? No.
Is it X? Is it this?
No. Okay. So, okay, this right here. Let's say that you had something like the cubed root of 2 cubed plus 1 cubed. How would that simplify? I mean, just doing what's in the parentheses here. What's 2 cubed?
8.
8 plus 1 cubed?
1.
That'd be 9. What's the cubed root of 3? We don't know. It's just the cubed root of 3, 9 to the 1/3. Okay. But the way y'all are trying to do it is you're trying to say, oh, I can just get rid of that and say it's 2 plus 1, which is 3. You can't do that. And if these were multiplied together, if that had been a multiplication right there, then it would work. Okay.
So this is the actual.
So you've got to leave it there. Yeah. Y'all went a
So,
little too far. You can only cancel the cubed root if everything in there all together is cubed. Not each one separately, but all together and as one is cubed. Okay. Write down this. F of x equals 3x plus 8. Find the inverse function. Synchronous ums. First, you change it to y, then switch. There's some steps to it, remember? Let me see. This is 91. This one is 8 over 3. Yeah. X minus 1 over 3, which you could write as 1/3 x minus 8/3. Huh? X minus 8 over 3. Yeah. Okay. Okay, now, before you erase that, I want you to take the inverse of the inverse. Not take the inverse of it. I want you to compose the original function with the inverse. So your original function was what? 3x plus 8. Compose that with your x minus 8 over 3. Put one of them into the other. And show your work.
It just means proving it's the inverse, but I feel like doing one.
Yeah. You should end up with x. What?
Wait.
3. Okay, and you put this one.
Oh, wait a minute.
X minus 8 over 3.
Okay.
This is getting confusing. If you don't even have an equal sign, so how do you equals what?
X.
X minus X.
Oh, okay. So you're not doing anything. Okay, so here's what you got to do.
X.
Okay, you have x minus 8 plus 8. Yeah, x minus 8 plus 8 is just x because these cancel. Okay, there you go. Yeah. So you should come up with x. And if you composed them the other way, it should also come up with x. Okay, we got time? Yeah, we got time. Okay, get your graphing calculator and go to y equals. Come on, calculators. Go to the y equals. You're going to type in a function. Y equals 2 divided by parentheses x minus 3 parentheses. 2 divided by parentheses x minus 3 parentheses. So the x minus 3 is in the denominator. And so graph that and then take a look and determine if it's going to have an inverse function. Remember what test you give it? Y equals 2 divided by parentheses x minus 3 parentheses. Does it pass the horizontal line test? No?
Yeah, it does. It does. You know, they never touch. Yeah, it's like.
Well, actually, like if this is the asymptote, it's kind of like this. It's always getting closer, so it never gives you the same y value twice. Yeah. Okay, so all you had to do on that one was determine if it had an inverse function. No, he said yes, but you don't have to actually find it. Okay, let's graph them. I don't want to do that one. Okay, let me find, we got what, 5 minutes? About. Okay, but put this in your calculator. Write it on the board first. Go back to the board. We'll write this on the board first. Y equals absolute value of x squared minus 3 plus 6 outside the. Okay, so what you got to do there is determine whether it has an inverse function, and if it is, find the inverse function if it does have one. Some people have to. So Brian, why are you so convinced? Because the girl said that, or because you graphed it and looked at it? It's weird, right?
Yeah.
Actually, I guess it should look okay, because y'all are thinking it's, yeah, but it's x squared minus 3 that's in there, so it actually looks weirder than that.
It says invalid input, so.
It looks something like that. Yeah. What did you do? Did you try to graph it?
I tried, but.
What'd you put? Oh.
Do I?
So you should do the absolute value of x squared minus 3, and then fraction, and then, no, not fraction. And then plus 6. Yeah, I should just, do you know how to get absolute value? That may be a problem, because it's over here on one of those.
Oh, right here. Okay, never mind. There it
Okay.
is. Thanks.
Lies all, okay, back to the board. Right, we're time for one more. Okay, f of x equals a square root of x plus 1.
Are you just putting in a calculator?
Well, you can do that, but if it has an inverse function, you got to find the inverse function. Do you think it has one? You can't just say no and.
That's enough.
Yes.
Yeah, it's going to have one, right? It doesn't pass the horizontal line test. Therefore, actually, you could have stopped right there. Yeah, there you go. Wow, look at you. What did he do? What? Yeah.
We got the same answer.
Okay, so this becomes x and that becomes y. Is that a y?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so now how do you get the y out of the radical?
Square root it.
Square,
square it,
both
yeah.
sides. Then you can subtract 1 to both sides. Yeah. And there it is. Okay, y'all can have a seat, clean your desks off.
To the seat.
Okay, Candace, I will get back with you online or something, okay? And try to answer all your questions. All righty, bye-bye.